Hi, this is Carrie Ann with our Teen Talk. We have two teens here today that we are going to continue with our topic of bullying and social bullying and just try to see how we can help and bring light to the situation, and if somebody has dealt with bullying, how important it is that we show love, not meanness, which now the world needs a little bit more love these days. And I'm going to introduce one of our new teens that was not able to make it last time, and we're going to start off with Mia. So Mia, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you go to school, what you like to do, and let everybody know who you are.
So I'm Mia Pampino, and I go to Plum High School. I'm going to be a senior, and I like to sing. I'm involved in musical, the arts, and all that stuff.
And she sings beautifully. I've heard her sing before. We also have Emma, who she goes to Baldwin, and she's also one of our seniors for this year. So we're going to talk a little bit more about teen bullying, and we're going to have Mia tell a story about something that she's had to deal with as far as bullying amongst teens and how she overcame it.
Personally, I've had a lot of girls that have just been so brutal. I'm not gonna lie to you, it's been really hard over the past 3 years. Gonna be 4, but it's you make friends, you lose them, that's normal. But so there's this one particular time that I had lost a couple friends, and I was trying to branch out and I don't know, meet new people, but you already know everyone, so everyone knows your business anyway. It's hard, but I was sitting at this new lunch table, right? And I was so excited. I was I'm in. I made new friends. No. And I sat down, and I was just talking normally, just thinking I'm doing so good. I'm so excited. And this girl looks at me and she's like, "You're just so annoying." And I was like, "Okay."
Right.
Got it. So I didn't know what to do. So in that moment, I decided eating in the bathroom my entire sophomore year of high school was better than going back to the cafeteria and saying anything. And so I sat in the bathroom and I was just contemplating, and I was what am I doing in here? And it was towards the end of the school year. Everyone knew I was eating in the bathroom. Everyone made fun of me. And it was okay, now I get it. You sit there and you let people just hate on you for what? What did I do that was that annoying? I feel girls need to understand that it's a matter of either jealousy, just insecurities, or them just not knowing what else to say because they're so hurt inside that they want to hurt other people. So I feel the last thing you should do is resort to hiding and doing that. I feel you should just deal with the problems head on, because everyone in high school is the same playing field. After high school, you're all going to move on. You're going to go to college, you're going to meet new people, but while you're still there, everyone just feels the sense of entitlement based on how many friends you have or what clothes you wear or what car you drive. And it's just at the end of the day, we're all just looking forward to leaving. So what do you got to lose? They already don't like you. So it's
Right, because 9 times out of 10, you don't see anybody you went to high school with.
No. Ever.
I mean, you're with them for 12, 13 years, and then it's peace out.
Where'd they go?
Right. And that is sad that you felt that you had to go to the lunchroom to eat, not the lunchroom, but the bathroom to eat because somebody told you were annoying. And can only imagine how you felt personally as far as your self-confidence, your self-worth, your self-identity. And, how did you overcome that to be able to be hey, this is not cool. This is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And, your words, because words can hurt. And, how did you overcome that? So it took you did the whole sophomore year?
The whole sophomore year. I honestly, until this year, I'm still struggling with dealing with how I feel with myself. I feel every teenage girl is. It's hard. It's really hard to figure out who you want to be, what you're going to do. But I feel what helped me the most was just understanding that I have no control over other people at all.
No, and I think that's important, because I think that it is true, because it's so difficult anymore to even be a teenager, with all of the pressures and stuff of what you're going to do, and, fitting in with this group, fitting in with that group. And, I personally went through even, it takes a long time to find out who you are. And even, at my age, I mean, I'm still learning who I am. And because what happens to you as a child, I always feel that that's, you're overcoming that as an adult. So whatever happened to you in your childhood is what you're dealing with as an adult. And it's very difficult because everybody has like different, situations and problems that arise, and everybody has them. And it's just, and it's sad that, you have to go through it, but at the end of the day, it builds character, it builds your self-worth, and you're like, you know what, hey, this was just a bump in the road, but I know who I am, and I wish for myself that I had more self-confidence, I had more self-worth, growing up versus, trying to get it at an older age. And I think that's what the hardest thing is, especially when you're a girl, when you don't fit what society norm is. It's very challenging, and that's where like bullying comes in, even like as adults. I mean, a bullying on social media, that we've talked about, that everybody can sit behind a computer and feel very confident putting words out there that they don't care whether or not it hurts you or not. And it's hard.
Super. And I feel like, honestly, like, what even is the social norm? Because now it's like, oh, you're too tall, you're too short, oh, you're too skinny, you're too fat. It's like, what do you want me to be? Because,
Right.
like, at the end of the day, no one's happy with anything. It's just, like, so much hatred from so many different kinds of people. Like, nobody knows what they want anymore. It's like, oh, 90s, you have to be super skinny. Now you have to have this huge butt, and you have to look like the Kardashians. But then, like, once you look like that, now it's not cute anymore. And it's like,
fake,
yeah,
whatever.
exactly. So it's like, I feel like everyone just needs to, like, kind of take more time to focus on how they want to be as a person, and like ignore how everyone else views them, if that makes sense.
Now, Emma, I know you had an example last time, but I really feel that bullying is very big, and can you give us another example?
Yeah, I don't have like a specific story like I did last time, but I can give like a general thing that I know goes on. I know for a fact happens. Talking about maybe social media or just like the shady side of this type of thing, I know for a fact at my school, probably every high school out there, that there's always people who will not say anything directly to your face. They'll say things behind the screen or just to their friends, the side comment. Like, I know there's probably plenty of girls who have seen someone walking down the hallway and been like, oh, she's wearing that today, like really, things like that. So I'd see people say these things about people, whether they were pictures they would see of people in person, anything like that. So for the longest time on like any social media or anything, I wouldn't like to post pictures alone or just like myself, I wouldn't want people to say, oh, I don't really like what she's wearing in that picture she took, why would she post that, things like that, because I wouldn't know if they were sending that to other people. So I would like solely post group pictures, maybe hoping they wouldn't single me out in it, saying, oh my god, like she's head taller than the rest of her friends, or her clothes don't look as nice as the rest of her friends, things like that. I know that happens, and I wish stuff like that wouldn't happen. Anytime I see anything like that happen, I try to call people out on it, like, you can't say that, how would you feel if someone was saying that to your face, it's just, I don't think that's right.
No, and I agree, and that was one thing that I struggled with. I'm not one to be in front of the camera, even though I put girls in front of the camera. I'm not one. I make sure my hair's done perfectly, my makeup's done perfectly, I'm dressed to a T, because I don't want to give anybody any reason to say one nasty thing. And, I had a mentor that told me that people want to see who's designing these dresses, so you have to put yourself out there. And that brought a lot of anxiety to myself. And I'm like, because I don't want somebody to say, oh, she's too fat. What does she think she knows about fashion, this and that? And I'm just like, okay, Carrie Ann, you have to just kind of block it out and, just put yourself out there. And I mean, you're still going to have people who say stuff, which at this point, like you said, Mia, I know who I am. I know what I do. I'm very confident with my capabilities of making a dress. I mean, for you, you designed your prom dress, and you're like, I'd wear it every single day, and you looked amazing in it.
I definitely would.
And then Emma, you've been with me for a while. I mean, you didn't get to wear one of my designs for prom, but
yes,
we did a photo shoot,
we
and you looked
did.
amazing.
Thank you. And it's so weird now because I was always scared to be in front of the camera, and now I am the girl in front of the camera, and all my friends are like, that's amazing, you're getting all these opportunities. I'm like, I never would have like imagined being able to do anything like this. Maybe, I don't know, a year ago, I would have been like, I'm a pretty timid person as it is, but I think this has really boost my confidence levels and being like, I can post pictures of myself that I look great in. I know I look great in them.
Yeah, and I think that's where we put those limitations on ourselves. What we think is in our head is what people are going to say, because you're already prejudging, where you gotta, and that's a very hard thing, even as in my age, to be able to do that. I'm still not there to a point when I'm able to do a photo shoot in one of my dresses, then I know like I am good to go. But until then, I'll just continue posting on my social media, everybody else in my gowns, But how do you think that, with everything as far as like you brought up the Kardashians, I mean, it seems like everybody wants to look like somebody else instead of looking what God made them. And do you know people that, have a story or anything that that somebody wanted to change something of them because they wanted to fit in?
I've seen people that I know that want to get their nose done, or like me, I wanted to get my nose done, I wanted to get everything done, and then it's like, but would that really make you happy afterwards? Would that make you feel better about yourself? Maybe, but not always. It shouldn't have to do with how you look at all. It should have to do with how you are as a person and how you feel on the inside and how you're treating other people. And the way people view you will completely change based on how you are.
Do you have any examples as far as friends that have wanted to change things with plastic surgery or just?
I mean, a lot of my friends, I will say, I'm the skinny friend, if you understand, you get it. And they've always told me, I want to be your size, Emma. I want to be just like you. I want to look like you. And I'm like, why? I never understood. I mean, of course, I idolized Kendall Jenner for the longest time. I wanted to look like Kendall Jenner. I wanted to have like her super slim waist, things like that. I literally looked up how much she weighed, and I was like thinking, I think she weighed 120 pounds, and I'm not 120 pounds. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, for a split second, I was like, I could be 120 pounds if I really, really tried. And then I was like, Emma, you're being ridiculous. So even I wanted to make changes to myself, and I had people close friends saying that they wanted to look like me when I didn't even like what I looked like. And I was like, why would you say that? I didn't understand, it was weird for me because they wanted to change to look like me, and I wanted to look like some millionaire. I think everyone just needs to like take a step back and look at themselves and realize like this is what you were given for a reason. You shouldn't be messing with things that overall you said it might not even make you happy in the end. What is a nose job going to do to you? What is it going to do if you start losing a bunch of weight unhealthily? You're not going to be happy in the end. So I think everyone needs to realize that they were given the body, face, whatever, for a select reason. Maybe they don't like that reason per se, but it's what you were born with. And I know that sounds like corny, like you should just be who you are, but I think that's what you should do.
No, and I think that's important because how boring would this world be if everybody looked the same? Mm-hmm. And you have girls that, are tall. I mean, you're tall. I mean, girls would be like, you think sometimes you were always the tallest, so you had issues with that. But look now, yeah. I mean, you're going to embrace it because, I mean, that people would want to be tall like you. You know what I mean? And even like with you, Mia, having the long dark hair and, the great shape and the beautiful face, and people will be like, oh, I want to look like her. But if everybody looked like Emma, Mia, the world would just be boring. So everybody's built like differently, shapes and sizes, but there's also demons inside that a lot of teens that, like I said, what you deal with, just from my experience, when you become an adult, you're dealing with things that kids have said to you, because like one saying, it'll stay with you forever. I mean, I used to be told, I was fat, or if you lost weight, you'd be pretty. Like, I think I'm, good looking now. I mean, I don't care if I got a little junk in my trunk. But I mean, it's just like, if you're not happy with yourself, then, when you go to find somebody to spend your life with as far as a partner, that person's not going to bring you happiness. And I think that's where a lot of girls look at, even getting in relationships. If you can't be 100% yourself, then finding a boyfriend is not going to bring happiness.
I wanted to elaborate on that actually. I was just thinking about that. There's always someone out there that's gonna love 100% of you. Like, you're going to find someone. And I feel like girls obviously don't think about that now, but it's hard. It's super hard to like think of yourself one way and to imagine someone else being like that's perfect. But it does happen, and it happens for almost everyone if you choose, if you look and you meet people and you see different types of people, and it's like, you might look at someone and be like, I want to look like them so bad. That is insane. How do they look like that? But then you might talk to them and hear that they actually like struggle a lot with like I know I struggle a lot with gaining weight, and that makes me uncomfortable. Because like you saw me when I first came in looking for a dress, I could not find one prom dress that fit me. I was like, I need something that will fit up here. I need something that'll fit down here, that is long enough, that isn't too... It's hard. It's so hard because you never want to think of yourself as not amazing. Do you know what I mean? You want to always feel great, and it's hard whenever someone's telling you look so great, like you said, and you don't feel like that, but then you're also like, I want to look like that, but then this person loves me for me, but then I also want to fix this because I don't like it, and it's like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's a whole jumble of things that are not going to be resolved until you just understand that everyone is beautiful in their own way, and everyone's going to be appreciated by someone, no matter who it is. And even if it isn't a love interest, you're going to find one person that makes you feel special. You're going to find one person that makes your day. And I feel like people need to remember that more, because like, as alone as you feel right now, I'm not always alone, because like I never had a lot of friends, and I found one friend that made me feel super good about myself, and now we're the best friends ever. And it's like,
And that's why I always said, like, if you could find just one person in your life that can make you feel good about who you are, then you that's like $1 million. Because if you have one person that supports you in everything, that, tells you you're beautiful, even if you're not feeling it, and, realizes your dreams and aspirations and tries to help you, and like, even when you're having that terrible day, they're like, pull your bootstraps up and get out there. And me, that's my husband, because I mean, it took me till I was in my 30s to find him, but I mean, he's my best friend, and he's been my cheerleader, and he goes to photo shoots and holds the lighting. So I mean,
blinds us a little bit, but we forgive him in the end.
but he's doing okay. But I mean, not, a lot of people don't have that. So I think it's very important that, girls understand that having a boyfriend is not going to make you whole. You have to be whole in order to have a good relationship with that guy.
exactly.
Have you had any relationships with a boyfriend or a guy that you just kind of like, just bad juju, he needs to get him stuff together?
Oh, all of them. What are we say? All of them. I mean, I don't really date all that much. I talk to a few guys here and there, but I mean, all of them, when I was with them, I honestly think it might have been me, like the whole, I wasn't really happy with myself, and I felt like maybe I was picking out things they'd say to me, even if it was compliments, they'd say, oh, you look so pretty today, and I'd be like, okay, I need to wear this color skirt, this type of shirt, and these types of shoes if they were going to call me pretty every single day, things like that. And then they would say, even if they didn't like compliment me that day, I'd say, like, oh my god, they don't like my hair today, like I should have done something way different with my hair, I should have not worn these pants, I knew these pants looked bad. I would just start, like rambling off bad things to myself, and they haven't even said anything to me, But I honestly do think you need, before you get into a serious relationship with someone, whoever you're choosing, you need to like be able to look at yourself in the mirror and know for a fact that you love yourself, because how are you going to be able to love someone else if you can't accept yourself,
But I think like even with adults, like with the social bullying, I even know, I don't post my true feelings as far as, you know, I mean, you look at it now, you can't turn anything on the TV right now unless it's political. And it's so overwhelming. It is just exhausting and just really tired of hearing about it. You know, every time you turn around, it's something else. And, you know, the bashing that goes on these social media pages as far as like if you are a Democrat, if you're a Republican, if, you know, the coronavirus, this and that. I mean, wherever your view is, it seems like if you don't have the same view as somebody else, they're like totally bashing you on that. I mean, have you guys noticed that like on social media?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, there's been have you been seeing like just newly like exposing people now? Like that's like a trend.
Yeah.
Like they're just trying to find things that are like wrong with people.
And like they dig for them just to post it and like ruin people's careers.
Yeah, it's horrible.
Right, and how fair is that?
It's really not. And you can't judge someone by what they said 10 years ago. They're probably a completely different person than they were, and I think that's really messed up. And I try never to like, people will ask me political views and stuff, and I'm like, listen, I'm 17 years old. I try to avoid the news at all costs. I think it's just sad most of the time. I'm a kid. I'm trying to enjoy being a kid while it lasts. I'm not going to get wrapped up in something that technically I don't even have a say in yet. I'm not 18. I'm not going to vote anytime soon. And I mean, sure, you can say it's my problem. It's going to be my problem. But I'm just trying to live my life right now, you know. I don't want to get wrapped up in something that, I mean, honestly could bite me in the butt in 10 years whenever, maybe if I do say something not everyone agrees with, you know. So I just try to keep to myself a bit, you know, play the safe card. Not everyone likes that, but, you know, it's better than saying something and getting in trouble for it later.
I just noticed that a lot recently is that and I don't understand how we've gotten to this point in our country that everyone should have the freedom of speech. Everyone has their own idea of what their beliefs are and what they feel in their opinion, because everybody has an opinion. But just because somebody does not share your same opinion, there's no reason for you to call names. I mean, we're adults, right? I mean, you guys will be 18 soon. So regardless, it's the same thing as what you guys are dealing with as teenagers as far as self-image and body types and all that. And, you know, as adults, you would think that we have grown up and gotten to a different point where, you know what, it's okay. We don't have to agree, you know, on both of our opinions, but we can agree to disagree. And that's okay. I mean, there's people that have lost family members because of all the debates that are going on and they don't like what that person's, you know, thinking or saying. I mean, and it's sad. And it really is just kind of like, I don't know how we've gotten to that point. It's kind of like you're on the blacklist. Like even if you take a look at Hollywood, if you're not walking the straight line and you're not doing what they expect you to do, then you're not going to get any movies. You know, you're not going to be in commercials. You're not going to get the leading role because it just seems like, you know, somebody can, everything that you've worked for, somebody can take it and just like ruin it in one day just by saying one thing, where maybe we, as, you know, the human population need to step back and be like, okay, how can I make a change? You know, I'm not going to believe everything that's out there. I'm not going to, you know, bash people, you know, take the high road. That's how I was brought up. Somebody comes up to you guys in school and wants to like fight you. I mean, like, okay, seriously, just walk away. I know it's harder to do that, but it's just like, and it's sad. And so like the bullying just doesn't stop at like teenage years. It is tremendously very big right now in this country on social media. And I don't know how we correct that. I mean, because it's just, I think it's gotten out of control. I truly think that social media has been a good thing to keep in contact with your friends and family. But on the other end, I think it has totally, my personal opinion, I think it has damaged, put a damage in society as far as how we talk to people. We don't have respect for people and their opinions and their views. It's like, if you don't think my way, then you know what? I don't want anything to do with you. And that to me is just very sad.
And I feel like they definitely, they filter what you see on social media. That's like a known fact. And I see the same thing every day. I don't even go on Instagram anymore because I'm like, all right, it's pictures of my friends, like those, and then it's like 100 like different things that I don't want to see. And it's like people debating or it's arguments, and it's like, I am pretty active. I do like voicing my opinion, if I'm being honest. I like hearing other people's perspectives though. Like, I like to be a part of pretty much everything that I can to like get the best view possible, if that makes sense. Like, I want a little bit of both. I want to understand everyone's side. I want to feel like I can relate to as many people as possible. And I feel like social media doesn't let you do that. Like, you say one thing and all of a sudden it's like, no, you can't agree with us at all because you're agreeing with that. And it's like, I don't know why, especially adults, like you were saying, can't at that point in their life understand that it's not that real. Like, what is going on in the world right now is going to pass. Corona, it's gonna pass. It's gonna be fine. But what we need to do right now is focus on what we can do to make it the best situation possible for everyone while it's happening.
No, and I think we need to unite as a country instead of like, dividing, because it's just like how I form my opinions. Give me the facts. Give me the true facts. And even out there, you can't even rely on getting the right information, for me to be able to form my opinion. You're not going to tell me what my opinion is. I have my own thoughts, and I think that's where a lot of it, like on social media, it gets, it's kind of like how if someone says one story to you, by the time it gets to that 10th person, it is, yep, it is totally changed. So therefore, everyone elaborates on it, and then it's like it totally lost the concept of what, you started.
I know they say like sticks and stones can break my bones and words will not hurt me, but I think everyone should know words can hurt. Words can be detrimental to someone. I think a lot of people keep things bottled up to themselves. When you said you might keep something to yourself for 10 years and remember that for the next 10 years of your life. So I think everyone needs to think before they speak, make sure that whatever you're saying to someone or about someone, you would be all right with them saying it to your face, not just behind a screen, to someone else, even if it's not just to them, I think that would just make the world a better place.
Right, no, and I think, and I agree with that, sticks and stones, because I'd rather somebody, not that I would want this to happen, I'd rather somebody beat me up because bruises go away versus somebody telling me, because mentally that stays there. Yeah. And it'll pop up when you least expect it, and you're like, man, I remember being my age and like in high school and like grade school, I remember these incidences that these kids have like said stuff about me, and I'm just like, how do I remember that at my age right now? Because that stays there. Well, I want to thank Mia and Emma for coming on to our Teen Talk today. This is Carrie Ann with Dress Hot, and remember to love yourself, embrace who you are, and really just try to, look at everybody as an individual person. And if you can lift somebody up instead of tearing them down, and respect everybody's opinions, regardless if it matters what you believe, because everybody is human and everybody has feelings. And if we all come together and show a little bit more love than a lot of hate, then maybe we can make this world a better place one day at a time. And again, this is Carrie Ann with Dress Hot. Thank you for joining us today, and we will see you in a couple weeks. Carrie Ann out.